My name's Ray Coffey. I'm an artist from Liverpool, England. Moved over to Australia in about 2004. I was a commercial artist from the age of 17 for about 25 years working in computer games, and then became a fine artist and an art teacher as well. I've done for about the last 12 years, I think. I'm currently having an exhibition at the Wollongabba Art Gallery called the Hooligan Series, which is about the glorification and vilification of male violence. So the idea was really sparked when I was looking at propaganda posters, basically encouraging people to go off and fight. And I had the idea of swapping soldiers for football hooligans. So this original poster was a First World War poster with 3 soldiers going over the top with fixed bayonets, and I just swapped them for 3 football hooligans, but kept the wording the same: your chums are fighting, why aren't you? Which then made me move on to, again, this is a Second World War poster, but I changed the word into the let's go fucking mental, which is a football chant, but also speaks to like mental health issues with violence, and like soldiers who suffer from PTSD and the dire consequences of that, like suicides and homelessness. So pushing the same theme. When I was a kid, I used to read a lot of comic books, and they were particularly violent. So especially Second World War comic books. So I did the same thing where I swapped the soldiers, the heroes, for football hooligans. And in this comic book page, England Away, it's like our heroes are going off to France to a football tournament to go and fight the Germans, the big Bosch. So with regard to the crucifixion, that pose, that crucifixion pose is a pose that football hooligans will do. It's almost like, come at me sort of thing. But also it's like the crucifixion of the young man. Basically young men are going through like a massive crisis at the moment with, like, I think homelessness is 80% men, suicides are 80% men, really failing in education. I think like 75% of people who are passing exams in qualifying, what the fuck is it called, university, tend to be women. It's like 25% men. So there's like a real crisis going on that you're really not seeing. It's sort of really hidden. But like with these paintings, it was the police sort of almost like represented sort of society, and you see it's like turning its back on these young men who are fighting, and sort of, well, just basically that, just turning their backs on them. So with these pieces, like the religious iconography, the saints, when I was a young man growing up, or actually a young boy growing up in Bootle, which is a suburb of Liverpool, the people that we'd really look up to, the people who'd have the most respect would be like people who are really good at football, maybe slightly academic to a degree, but those we really looked up to, almost like saint-like figures, were the hard men, the people who were really tough and at times quite violent. But I also just enjoyed making typical working class people saints. Till I die is like, I will follow you till I die. I will. So it's about loyalty. So to say, I don't know if you've seen the documentary, I think Sunderland Till I Die. Sunderland were like one of the shittest teams in the championship, and they were always losing. But once you support a team, you stay with that team through thick and thin. So you know, majority of teams tend to lose. So it's about that, but it's not only to your team, it's to your friends, it's to your family, it's that to your country even, like people are, you know, jingoistic and wherever, but it's as simple as that really. With regard to hooliganism, so I think there are 3 types of hooligan. So there's the number 1 type, which are basically men who want to fight other men who want to fight them. And then you get the other type is the wannabe. So they want to be hard, they'll wear all the clothes and stuff, but when it actually comes to fighting, they'll run away or they're not interested. And if I was going to be a hooligan, it'll be that type. And then there's the 3rd type, which is the absolute utter psychopath who just wants to hurt people. Like with hooliganism, there seems to be a bit of a bond between these people. Some of it is just done for the excitement, because a lot of these people are just working in like the most mundane jobs. They talk about the excitement, they talk about the buzz, but I think they feel like they are actually protecting the, you know, council estate or ground, but it's obviously like a lot of testosterone. You don't get very many women football hooligans, if any. Like with the casual culture being the clothing brands that they wear, you know, the trainers, the clothing, which is usually expensive. So like Burberry, Fred Perry, Stone Island, CP Company, these are all these like really expensive. It's almost like a uniform. And yeah, I think there's, I say the bonding, but I think also the excitement. And the funny thing is, they seem like the nicest lads when they're not fighting. So these pieces are really inspired by a little bit of my commercial history, where I worked in computer games for, as I say, 25 years. So I'd create characters and model characters. So I just really enjoyed making these caricature football hooligan heads. I spent probably about 4 or 5 hours making the original model out of Super Sculpey, which I'd then bake and make copies of out of gypsum. So these are all gypsum, which I'd then gesso, give it like a red undercoat, and then paint with oil paint, and then finally varnishing before I'd mount it onto gold leaf and wood. Yeah, but I really enjoyed making these. They were good fun. So with regard to that body of work, you've just seen the Hooligan Series. I also exhibited some of my old works, which date from about 2011 to about 2016, which apart from this oil painting is just charcoal drawing. My first focus when I started was photorealism. So I did like a lot of photorealism work. I did this homeless series. I did 6 pieces, which went down really well. I've won 4 National People's Choice Awards in different competitions, like Sunshine Coast Art Prize, Adelaide Perry, hold on, I can't. What's the other one? The Sunshine Coast Art Prize, the Adelaide Perry, the Jacaranda Acquisitive Drawing Award, and there was another one. But I started trying to get away from photorealism and sort of more works of the imagination with artistic license. And I've certainly, with the Hooligan Series, explored more of that, and I'm continuing on that journey. So the main message of the exhibition is about the glorification and vilification of violence and like the toll that takes on young men. And it sort of speaks to a little bit of my past and upbringing, growing up in Bootle, about, which was, it could be quite aggressive, quite violent at times. But Bootle is the most bombed suburb outside of London. It's like 90% of the houses received some damage because it's right next to the docks. So Liverpool, like the Bootle or Seaforth docks, was actually Bootle docks. It was the main link to America, to New York. So the Germans bombed the fuck out of it. And hence Bootle was, yeah.